Alright, so before we get this video started, I did another live stream video with IE Toy Hunter. Even though they're not really live streams, you can't really chime in. Maybe he'll get there someday. But we did it with Toy Bro Matt, with Toy Bro Matt. That's basically my spirit animal of the action figure toy community. That guy is truly amazing. I don't know if you've checked that video out yet or not. If you haven't, I highly recommend you do it. It's 2 parts. It's super long. If you're on like a road trip and you want to annoy your old lady, that's something that you would be really good to put on. Now we're going to go ahead and check out this Marvel Legends Bring On the Bad Guy Wave. This is something I was really, truly excited for. I was so excited that I didn't have it, and I actually started watching other people do toy reviews on it, which is something that I normally don't do, especially when I already have the action figure. If I already have the action figure, I definitely don't watch other people's reviews. Not that I'm going to steal their ideas or try to take their, to do what they did. No, it's just because when I see them doing them, I just start to I just want to talk shit about them, which I try not to do, but I still talk shit about them all the time. You got some of these guys that actually had a decent inventory that they're trying to flex on the other people, like going, look at all this shit that I have, and what they're not saying it like that. But it kind of seems like they're saying it like that, which some of the reviews, there was like one review that was actually really good. And then a lot of them were just like, God, why is this guy doing toy reviews? Like he's been collecting for like 6 months. He doesn't have anything to compare it to. He doesn't know shit about it, shit about the figure, shit about the character. Not saying that I do, but my reviews aren't that great either. I'm just basically here to talk a bunch of shit and see if I can't piss off a couple people, maybe get a couple thumbs down and chat it up with you guys on the comments. So when they announced this set, I was like, okay, I can get behind that. I really like the character selection on this. I really like what they have going with this, and I really don't like how hard these were to come by. Granted, they came out Tuesday, and I got them Tuesday, but I had to go to 3 Targets to do it. So I went to my first Target, because you G.I. Joe guys fucked it up for the rest of us. I went to there. They were in the back. I had to request them. They had to go get them. They bring out the whole entire case, and they go, okay, which one do you want? And I'm like, are you joking? What do you mean, which one do I want? I want the whole set. You can have the other Doom, but I definitely want the whole set. And they're like, no, you can only get one. I go, that's just dumbest shit I've ever heard. So I had to argue with the lady. So now I'm that annoying G.I. Joe collector. I have to argue with this lady to tell her that there's 7 different figures and I need all of them to build him, or that there's really no point. I go, they're all different. They all have their own DCPI number. They're different. I need them all. She's just like, nope, not going to happen. Pick one, so I went ahead and picked the Lady Deathstrike. Not saying that she's the best one in the set, but she's really close to the favorite one in the set. And she's a redo, which I really don't like redos, but I really like this redo. I basically just grabbed her because I figured her and Red Skull were going to be the most desirable ones out of the way. So I took the one figure, put my tail between my legs, and powdered all the way to the front counter, bought it. Went to another Target. I know it's pretty embarrassing, but then I went to another Target and they did the same bullshit to me again. I argued with the manager hoping for different results. It didn't work, and then that time I got the Red Skull. So now I'm on my way to my 3rd Target. There's another nerd sitting there trying to get the same shit I'm getting. I'm like, oh, great. I see him on his phone, like looking him up on the Target website, trying to track him down. So I instantly start looking for the most nerdiest employee I can find. I find him. I ask him if he's got them. He's like, this is weird. Like, I don't know. It says we have them, but we don't have them. So he calls the manager, and the manager goes, yeah, they're locked up in the electronic department. They're locked up in the electronic. Okay, G.I. Joe collectors, is this what you wanted? They're locked up. And I'm going, this is really stupid. So then we go to the electronics department, and then we ask him if he's got them. He goes, oh, they should be on the shelf. And he goes, no, they're not on the shelf. We just checked. So he goes back to opens the cupboard. They're not in there. So he opens the other cupboard in there, and there he goes, oh, look, they're all right here. The full case, all right there. And he goes, cool, which ones do you want? You want all of them? And I'm like, nah, well, at this point, I've already got 2 of them. This other nerd collector that I'm standing there with, I think all he needed was the Red Skull, and I just got the Red Skull, so I didn't need him. So then they basically give his guy the Red Skull, and they give me the rest of them that I need. And then I also went to another Target just to get, if I could get another, the hood, because my boy Brock's hooking me up with something amazing on that. I'll do that in a totally separate video. When you see what he does with this hood, you're probably going to go buy another hood And if you have any paint skills at all, you're going to do what I did, or what he did. But it's really cool. Went to that one, and then once again, the whole case was in the electronic department, and that guy was really cool. He said, what do you want? And so I got an extra arcade, but he needed the arcade because I was thinking about getting 2 arcades just because I've wanted arcade for so long, which I want to stop buying 2 of the same figure, but when you get 2 different head sculpts and it's something I wanted forever, I figured, you know, why not? Maybe I should get it. But he needed that. I hooked him up with that. I think I got him a red hood. I got myself an extra red hood, and he got it. And then, boom, there you go. 3 stores down to get it. Took up half my day. Total pain in the ass, but I'm really looking forward to getting into these. This video is going to be extra long. You can probably tell that by the minutes over there. We got a ton of comparisons, not for me to flex, but I am kind of flexing. But there's just a lot of shit that I haven't seen other people pull out in videos, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. Let's check this shit out.
It's not the first time I've seen the side of you. I'm through, and now you're walking on such a thin line, and I'm about to lose my nerve when all of this has cost me so much. Now leaving in the dust everything we had. You threw it away, and I have wasted too much love.
All right, there's nothing worse than when they actually make a set of figures that you're really looking forward to and you can't find them, or Target does that G.I. Joe bullshit where they won't sell them to you. That's even worse, because you actually see them and then you still can't take them home with you. And then when you go home and you're like, see these other toy reviewers that actually got the whole set, and then they slow fuck you and they do like 1 review every other day, and you're just like, come on, bro. I'll find these things by the time you're done doing the reviews. So the wait is over. Hopefully you guys have them. If you probably have them, you're probably not watching this video. So if you don't have them, I'm going to show them to you pretty quick. I'm going to focus mostly on comparisons just because there's a lot of comparisons that you need to see. First off, we have the Zimu, which is, this is like a Hulk villain. He's just a reuse of, I'll do all the comparisons later, of the Sasquatch. I actually really like this character. Yeah, he's a reuse. You get like new hands, new head, new belt, new accessories, new feet. He's really cool, man. They actually put a little like dry brush on him for once. I saw that they're like starting to come back to that. So that's really nice. I'm glad that they're doing it a little bit. He's a new character. First time getting this guy in your collection. He's my favorite figure in the set. I think he's amazing. I like how he has that little like digital thing in the palm of his hand. That's why I posed him like that. That's how I'm going to display him. He's just really cool. A Hulk villain. Like anytime you get a Hulk villain, it's pretty kind of like a come up. Then my second favorite figure in the set is the Hood. And you're like, well, the Hood, kind of a boring character. Yeah, you take this off of him and he's just basically Stan Lee in different colors with some guns with dildo shaped accessories, which that is really awesome. I got some stuff in my little treasure chest I might pull out and swap those out with some more appropriate looking dildos, but those are pretty good ones. Like, they definitely, I saw that. So these guns can shoot like these laser beams. Sometimes they shoot bullets. This is his cape, like his magic cape, like kind of like Doctor Strange. He should have like floating magic boots on. So if he had like the boots that the Red Skull was on, if like those legs were on this, I think that would be even better. We'll get to Red Skull in a second. I'll show you those boots. So he just has the shoes on. He's definitely a cool character. The reason why he's my second favorite figure in the set, because I'm really into the team building now. And this is the final piece to a team that I was trying to complete, the Cabal. It's basically like the opposite of the Illuminati's. It's just really cool. I'm glad that they finally made this character. He's just cool, man. I know he's just a repainted bullshit with a hood. And then when you see what my boy Broccoli did with this, you're gonna be like, yeah, I definitely need to get an extra one of those. So here's a hood articulation. Come on, you know we don't have time for that bullshit on this channel. Then you have Arcade, my third favorite figure in the set. I've always wanted an Arcade. When they showed that they were doing an Arcade, I was like, damn, that thing is cool. The suit, I'll do some comparison. I think this suit is new just because the handkerchief is like actually sculpted on. I don't know if the other suits have a handkerchief. I don't know if they could just add that. Maybe this whole thing is new. The bow tie is definitely new. We've never seen that before. I did get an extra one of these, but I hooked my boy up with it. There's the extra head sculpt. I think I still might get 2 of these just because I kind of, You don't need two, but it's arcade, and it's just something that I've really wanted. Comes with this cane. The action figure is really cool. As far as comparisons, I don't really, who do I even compare that with? Like Dazzler and her disco suit. Got the platform shoes. Definitely cool. The Lady Deathstrike, I'll pull her right back out to do a comparison with the other Lady Deathstrike. When I saw this, I was like, shit, you gotta be kidding me. Like, yes, our Lady Deathstrike sucks, but I would much rather have Pretty Boy than this. And I saw it and I was like, dude, this thing is pretty good. I like the cleavage there. See the wires on there? They actually like sculpted those in so they can't reuse that. So that's just kind of a one-off on that. And then they're sculpted on the arms. They didn't screw the sleeves up like they did on the other one. Once again, I'll show you that in a second. The Lady Deathstrike, my third favorite figure in this set. God, she looks amazing, man. I'm really stoked on this set, which I'm normally not too stoked on these. Then you got the Red Skull. He comes with a ton of extra hands. I love that green on there. I'll be pulling out some Red Skulls. And then he comes with the two different head sculpts, which this is cool. This is like him, like when his head turns red. And this is, I'm pretty sure, like when it's like a mask on there, which the neck is still red. So I don't know. It is cool. You give to, I like look at the paint on this thing. That is so good. It makes you want to buy two of these. I'm going to try to put this Red Skull head on something somewhere because I'm sure it's better than on some of the other Red Skulls that I have. This thing is the same body as Dormammu. Of course, these cuffs are a little different, but it's got that pinless technology. It's so technical that Mattel's been doing it for like 6 years now. But I'm glad that they're finally doing it. They just had to copy him, and I had to ruin my friendship with Dwight by busting his balls to get it to you guys. But hey, the price I pay for you, it's just endless. And then these are the boots that I wish that would have came on him. Then he would have like his magical like flying boots. Like I think these legs would have worked better on him just to have that. If I wish they would have put these legs on that, and you have the boots and you have the cloak, and then I don't know. This is cool. You get the cube again for like the 100th time, but it is cool. I'm glad that they gave it to us, and that hand really locks it in. You got the gun with the Hydra shield. You can probably see that. You're just going, man, this dude is literally just telling us everything that we're seeing. I don't know why he doesn't just shut up and show us the action figure. Then you have the AIM Scientist Supreme. I saw this and I was like, well, that is a new character in my collection. Anytime I can put a new character in my collection, I'm really stoked. I'll pull out the other AIM guys. The plastic on this is like that cheap, shitty gold marbling shit. They just have a hard time with metallic colors. I wish it was painted for it would actually look good, but apparently paint is like super expensive. Then they wouldn't get a Christmas bonus, so you don't get any paint. You do have the pinholes on that, not that pinless technology on this, but it's a cool action figure. I'm really happy to get this in my collection. And then you have the God Doom figure, which I'll do some cool comparisons for that I haven't seen anybody else pull out, because I do have the other version of this that's really hard to come by. I think it's the Future Foundation Doom, but this is the God Doom. He comes with the Thanos skull. Pull out a Thanos. God, he's just cool. He doesn't have the jetpacks on it, but maybe he doesn't need the jetpacks because he's like God Doom and he could probably just fly for something else. Doom is also one of my other favorite villains, although like Red Skull is too, but God, I love Doom, and this Doom is just amazing. Comes with the gun and saying, I don't even think I'll pull that out. Here's the Doom. The thing's amazing. Look at that head sculpt on there. I love this. I'm just glad that they did a God Doom. Normally I'm like, whatever, you know, like another Doom, but not this time because it's a new costume. Whenever they give us a new costume or a new character, I'm pretty stoked. Then you have this Dormammu. Oh, Doom also comes with the grip of hands, but I put the hands that holds the skull on there and a fisted hand, which I normally don't do the fisted hand, but it really worked for something like this. Then you have the Dormammu, which we have the extra hands here. I just put the hands on it. I usually like kind of like the open, like grabbing hands. I just think that's cool. This thing is cool because they did the extra cuffs here, which that's like the only time they can ever do that. And then on the feet, they did the extra cuffs there. Other than that, it's basically just this. Like, it's the same exact shit. Like, I can't believe this is like first time with this, and then they reuse it instantly. Like, they just couldn't wait, like, even to the next set to use it. But it's pretty cool. I guess the cube hand doesn't hold it as good as I thought. God, I love this. I can't wait to do some comparisons with that. But here's the Dormammu. They fucked up the hair color. That should be yellow. I don't know why it's red. Like, it's obviously it should be yellow. And this is another situation where This is like where they should do the vine, because he's what, 6.5, almost 7 inches tall to the top of his frame. Like this thing should be like 20 inches tall. This is like where if they're doing the vinyl figures, like it already has that classic vintage look, so articulation on something like this, like they do a pretty good job on it. But if this had 5 points of articulation and was 20 inches tall and vinyl and was like $40, that's how I would want Dynamo. I don't really need a 6-inch Dynamo in my collection because I already have ones bigger than this. Let's get to the comparison. All right, so for this comparison, I went ahead and pulled out a Hulk because he's a Hulk villain. I would have never asked for a Zemu figure, but I absolutely love it. I'm really glad that they're digging deep, especially on like the Hulk villains. And we just got Mr. Hyde like on the last set, which I thought that was really cool. I thought the set of toys sucked, but the Build-A-Figure was really cool. This time, the Build-A-Figure and the whole entire set is really cool. So here's the Hulk next to him, for you can kind of see a size comparison on that. Of course, I had to pull these two out because they're basically the same body, same legs, same arm. But it totally works. Like that's exactly what he's supposed to look like. That's exactly what he's supposed to look like, and that's what he's supposed to look like. So when they were planning this attack out to how many times they can reuse that, I think they executed this really well. Obviously has a new head, new hands, and new feet with this new like little like stick-on belt thing, which totally works. I love it. I really like that figure. It's my favorite figure in the set. All right, so this is why the hood is my second favorite figure in the set. Anytime I can complete a team, it's just like, it's like another notch on my bedpost. It's just like, this is what collecting is to me. When you can finally put this together, display it as a team, this is everything. This is why I collect this shit. I feel like I've succeeded. The downside to this is that the Namor is in so many freaking teams. Like I've got like every Namor ever made, and every Namor I have is in a team. I actually had to pull him out, so I'm trying to work on my boy Brock to try to get a Namor off of him to get an extra Namor to put in this set. And then this is the White Queen that you want to put in this set. I also have her in another team, which is actually the same team as Namor, which is a good team, which is another weird thing because Namor and White Queen, they never know if they want to be on a good team or a bad team. But this is the figures that you need to complete the Cabal set, the team, which I don't know, man. Like God, you need like 6 White Queens and like 7 Namors for all the teams that you're trying to build. I went ahead and upgraded his accessory. It's a, one that looks kind of just like the one that he's holding, but probably a different use. There's my Cabal team. God, I just love that. The cape kind of comes out. Look at that. That just, that's just, I'm getting stiff in the pants right now. Nerdwood for sure. Like this is a good day in the collecting world. All right, so here's this Lady Deathstrike with the reverse team, and here's my bitch. And I get what you guys are saying when you don't have the figure in collection. We already had a Lady Deathstrike. I'll go ahead and pull her off. You can kind of see her close up. This toy was, it was fine. Like this one is definitely better. But when I'm sitting here looking at this team, and she's sitting in there, and I still need like 3 more characters to completing the revert team. I would much rather have her, the shitty version, in this team and get like Pretty Boy or what's the dude in the tank or the leader or whatever. I can't think of their names right now. But instead of giving me a better version of this, I would have rather had a character that I didn't have complete the team, and then once the team is completed, then give me Lady Deathstrike, which I absolutely do love this Lady Deathstrike. This thing is just garbage. I'm actually gonna make somebody's day very lucky. I'm gonna put this one in this package, give it back to Target, so whenever you see that, you don't have to wonder who did it. Just know that I did it, because Target will be getting this thing back, because this thing next to this thing, man, that's it's just not good. I love how they did the cleavage on that. God, that looks good. Especially the titties are nice and perky on that one, but those ball joints, this thing is disgusting. I like the new Lady Deathstrike. I would have rather had somebody else in the team, but she's nice. They'll get this one back, and then I'll put this in my reverse team. All right, so I went through my entire collection. I looked at every suited body that I have, and I'm going to say it. I'm just saying, hopefully I'm not wrong here. Hopefully there wasn't one hiding in the shadows. But this jacket is new. It's the only one that has a handkerchief, and it's the only one that has a pointy collar on it. So if you see the collar on that, all of them have that flat collar. This one is definitely different. I think the arms are the same, but the jacket is definitely different just because the handkerchief. So I was going to get two of him for I could maybe possibly use this body for something else, but the platforms kind of kill it, the handkerchief kills it. So I think I'm going to get two of these just for I have two arcades. I mean, some of this stuff goes way up in value, and then you wish that you would have bought two, and then some of it goes down in value. When it goes down in value, it doesn't go down that much, like 15 bucks, but I think he's going to definitely be one to get. Whenever they make like this suit, or this suit, or like this suit, oh shit, sorry about that. Let me bring it back around. I got all excited trying to show you all these suits. Whenever they make this suit, like when they made the Chameleon, I probably have 8 of those Chameleon figures. That thing's super expensive on eBay now, but just to have this suit, to reuse it and reuse it and reuse it, because every time they give you like an unmasked character, it pretty much works on this body type. And now that they make this one, this is like the Peter Parker body, the Stan Lee body. That's why I want to get a couple extra of these, one that my boy's hooking up, and one just for you have it. Like I could put that split face Peter Parker on this. There's tons of uses for it, so whenever they make the suited body, you should probably pick up 2 of them, because once they're gone, they're like really gone. But I went ahead and pulled up Purple Man for a comparison because I was thinking it's the same, and it's absolutely not the same. This suit is definitely new. A lot of it's, I wonder if the pants look slightly different too. Those could be new, but I could pull out a different character, but the video is getting way too long. All right, so I think this is what some of the other channels were trying to accomplish, but they didn't quite have the inventory. Luckily I do, so you'll be able to see all the Red Skulls ever made. God, I hope I pulled them all out. I do have the movie ones up on the top shelf. I didn't pull those. I purposely didn't pull those out because I didn't want to cross-contaminate. I just want to keep this like comic book stuff because I think I'm going to quit getting the movie stuff anyway. So there you go. Here we go. We have the Arnim Zola Red Skull. And then you could also, there's a different chest plate for this, so you could do the other one. But I went ahead and went with the Red Skull one. I do have another one that I was trying to put together, but I'm like 2 pieces short. And then they did that repainted one, so I think I'm kind of good on this thing anyways. Like, I do love this toy though. And then you have the Onslaught one. They also made this with the regular Onslaught head, and this is the Red Skull head, which that was cool, so I went ahead and got 2 of those because I'm just completely stupid. This is like the closest version to like the Nazi one that you can get. It even has like the eagle on the arm, which I thought that was really cool. Thinking about having my boy Brock paint a Nazi sign on that. Not that I'm a Nazi, just because Red Skull is a Nazi, and it would be really cool to have a Nazi Red Skull action figure in your collection, because nobody has the balls to do that, which I totally understand why. This thing actually has a painted gun. It's got a little limp on there. Uh-oh. So here's this Red Skull. He's old, man. Like, the articulation is whatever. He's still one of my favorites. Like, I mean, this thing has toe articulation, single knees. Like, this is like back in the day. But just look at that. That's one of my favorite Red Skulls. Just to have him in that classic kind of like Nazi-looking costume is just amazing that they at least did that. Then you have the Mezco version, which this thing, I mean, all this did, like, Mezco did this, Hasbro got pissed off. They're like, screw you guys, we're going to do it too. And then this is their version. This is like the McDonald's Happy Meal version of this, which I'm also trying to stop collecting Mezco. I'm definitely limiting that to like just Marvel figures because it's just too much. I went ahead and put the Boba Fett flame effect in there to spruce that thing up. Had to drill a hole in that, but this is their version of that, which, I mean, I like both of these, but this thing, just amazing. The fact that they did it with the flamethrower, with the gas tank, and then you see that head on there, that's basically, I think Hasbro, I think they actually bought that, and they're like, we can do that head too, which they actually did a really good job. I actually like this bright head better than that one. So there's the Mezco version of this, which I do like this. Like, it kind of makes me feel like if I did stop collecting Mezco, you got to figure $100, $20. Yes, this is way better. Of course, I love the soft goods. It's just, I'm getting to a point in my collecting career to where spending $100 on action figures is going to be a thing of the past here real soon. I'm definitely trying to take it down a notch. Over 10,000 action figures deep. I got to slow down at some point. And then you have this one, the Nick Fury version, which I thought this was also really good. Also came with a Cosmic Cube. That head on there was pretty good. Comes with a cool gun. A Hydra thing on his arm. I really like this one too, but when I see that, it's just, I just see like Nick Fury and I don't really see Red Skull. You pop the head off and, I mean, the reuse is just so obvious on this one where it kind of takes the fun out of it. Then this was like in a 2-pack one. Which the other guy, what's that? Von Victor or something, whatever. So this is the Red Skull version of that. I never understood him in this costume. Maybe he wears this costume, maybe he doesn't. This is like my least favorite version of the Red Skull that they've did so far. And then they have this one, which I thought was cool. This is where he like steals like the Iron Man armor. So he makes it like a Red Skull version. Look at that little skull in the middle. That's definitely cool. This is where he like paints the head on it. And this is like the same head as this one. They just reused it. So I think I'm going to pop this head off because I already have it on an action figure. And I really just love this bright red. It does sit a little low, but it definitely pops. Like, I love that. There's a Red Skull. I know, God, this video is getting really long. Let's crank out these other few and wrap this thing up. All right, so I probably pulled out more Dooms than I should have. I've already showed you guys my Doom collection and like Doom videos in the past, so what the heck? Here it goes again if you guys are still sticking around. Marvel Select Doom over here. He came with a throne. That throne is just, if you don't like that Doom, like that throne works for everything. I just absolutely love that throne to death. Then you have an older Doom figure. You have the newest Doom figure with a little bit of tiny little cloth on there. This one was $25. He's the one that you really wanted, but instead you got like that one back there in the back. Which I have a couple of those also because he came with 2 different heads, so I dumbass bought 2 of them. And then over here, back here in the back, one of my prize pieces in my collection. I guess I'll go ahead and get him out of the way. My Doombot, which that thing was extremely hard to get. My boy Mark hooked me up with that. This is like the Doombot. They had different versions of this. Like, so that actually has like the robot mask that fits over like the Doom face, which is the torn up face. I don't think that is the Doombot. That's just the mask. Either way, he looks just like that. If that's not the one, I think that is the one though. I have like 6 of those Doombots. For some reason, I just kept buying those things and they just kept adding up. And I'm pretty sure that's the Reed Richards Doom, and this is the Doom that when everybody was doing reviews, I was like, well, pull out this Doom, and then nobody pulled out this Doom, which I understand it because he was like, I don't know, back in the day, oops, that's not what I wanted to do there. My grabber got a little too close. I think back in the day, I think he was like $160 or something. This is like what you do, like you find him on eBay floating around in Macari or whatever, and then you send that to your girlfriend or wife, and you're like, this is what I want for my birthday or Father's Day or some kind of day, Christmas, and then all of a sudden this thing shows up and it saves you like $160. I don't know how much he is right now after this one came out, but they're 2 totally different versions. This is just, I think it's the Future Foundation Doom. This is the God Doom. You can see that they're totally different. One is not a replacement for the other. You really need both of these in your collection because they're 2 totally different action figures. You kind of need all of these Dooms. Okay, well, you don't need that Doom. This is a must-have because it's a Doombot. That one is. That's probably the best one. I just really like that green on there. And then you have the Marvels. I don't really like that Doom. He's just a little too big, but I do like the chair. I should probably get rid of him and put one of these other ones in the chair. If you want to see that ground effects that I did on that Doom, just really sets it off. Man, that looks good with that thing. All right, there's the Doom. 2 more to go. All right, now finally we're getting to this AIM Scientist, one of my least favorite, which I really like him, but he's like, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Mine and the Doom, they got like this weird like baby powder or something on it. I don't know if you can see. You see in between his thighs there, like where I haven't like rubbed it off yet. Like, I don't know why they have that baby powder on there, but For some reason they do. So here he is. You can see that he's a totally different plastic. He's kind of like that gold. I kind of wish that he was just a yellow because they just can't do gold. Like, it just doesn't work out for him with the marbling on there. It just makes the toy look really cheap. I kind of wish that they wouldn't have did it. I also saw on Instagram where some dude had this screen, and I don't know how he did it, but he did like a little cutout or Photoshop or something to where the dude was watching Pornhub on there. Oh, it was priceless. I absolutely love that he did that. I would do it, but that would take time and energy, and I just don't think that's going to happen. So here's the AIM soldiers. This one's kind of the same as this one. That has like the black lens, the gray lens. You can see that they're just slightly different, but very similar. I wish I had some more, but I don't know, man. I don't even know if they have them single carded on HasLab anymore. For like, if they were like $15, I wouldn't mind just getting 2 more, like the regular basic ones, but shit's getting expensive and the shelves are getting full. All right, last one and maybe a tiny little wrap up at the end. Here's the Dormammu figure. I went ahead and pulled these out. One of these was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and one of these was like released when they did that really, really, really shitty Dr. Doom wave. Is like the worst set of Marvel Legends they've ever did. They gave us a bunch of redo figures, a bunch of movie figures that really nobody was ever wanting, but for some reason they thought that we needed them. So here he is. I love the classic version of this Dormammu the best. I just hate the size. Like, he's almost always a giant. Yes, he can change size. I get it. I don't care about that. I want a giant Dormammu. I went ahead and pulled out the Doctor Strange just for you to have that. You can see how dated that figure is. Now that I'm building all these teams, I realize that I need a shit ton of Doctor Stranges. So if they do want to do a redo of him, I guess that's kind of nice. I have the Mezco version of him, which is kind of their take on it. I mean, that figure still holds up. Like, he's good. Like, I got him in I think my Defenders team right now. So here's what I'm saying. Like, whenever these guys do these interviews with Hasbro and all they do is tell them like, oh man, your stuff looks great, everything's looking good. Why would they ever change anything? If you guys don't bitch and complain every time that you see these guys and tell them that their stuff sucks, even if it doesn't suck, why would they ever change it? If you're just going, man, your stuff is great, don't change a thing. So here's DC Toys over here, McFarlane, not DC. Well, kind of all in the same now. $20 for this big giant thing. Yes, it's got limited articulation. The articulation is kind of just garbage. It's $20. It's hollow. It's vinyl. I would much rather have a Dormammu this size with limited articulation just for display value, or you could even dress up the articulation a little bit like NECA did with that King Kong. Or was that Mezco? Is Mezco with that big giant King Kong? Granted, that thing was fairly expensive, but if they're doing these bigger characters, this is how I'd love to do them. I'd love to get a Dormammu in this size or even bigger. $20. Yes, it's got limited articulation, but the sculpt is absolutely amazing on that. That's how I'd like to see them do it. If you guys just tell me to do a good job all the time, like, my voice isn't enough. Yes, my voice single-handedly got us pinless. I did that. That's me. That's 100% me. I was the only one complaining about it. I ruined my friendship with Dwight over it. I got us that. You're welcome. Now, if we could get something like this, that would be amazing in your display. All right, quick wrap up, then I'm going to go watch the race. No special clips, no end shit at the end of this video because it's just too much. When you guys think this video is long, think how long it took me to go through my collection, pull up all those comparison figures, knock over a ton of other figures, try to put them back in the collection, knock over more figures. So this thing takes way more time than I want to put into it, but I just kind of felt like this wave just deserved it because it's one of my favorite waves that they've ever did. I think every figure in here is a home run except for the Dormammu, which is, he's good. I just wish that he was bigger, but come on guys, we hear that a lot. He's amazing. The Red Skull is amazing. The Scientist is amazing. Arcade's amazing. Lady Deathstrike, it's a home run. The set is a home run. I think if I do my end of the year wrap up video, this might be the best set Marvel Legends has ever did. Great character selection for once. They threw a nice little mix in there. I'm actually impressed. Like, we have to eat a lot of shit as a Marvel Legends collector, but this time I think we came out pretty good. And now the new set with the Ursa Major is coming out. That's another, God, those two figures to put that winter guard together. Oh, that's what collecting this shit is all about. If you guys are still here, thanks for watching.